What's going on, people? It's Boxing Lowdown and I'm back here with another video. Now, just wanted to give my summary, post-fight late summary of Errol Spence against Sean Porter, and I also want to speak about the welterweight division as well. You know, it's such a stacked and exciting division. I feel like it's time to talk about it and see where we are, you know, with the state of the game with regards to the champions, who's going to fight who, what's happening, like the side of the street, you know, all that nonsense. Let me just give my thoughts on it. So going to the fight last weekend, Errol Spence against Sean Porter. Going into the fight, I made my prediction. I thought that Spence would win, but I didn't think it would be as easy as everybody says it would be. And I know that that seems like hindsight now, but if you go back and have a look at some of my prediction videos and some of the comments that I made on my social media, you'll see that I did predict Errol Spence to win, probably by points, which he did. I didn't rule out the stoppage, but I thought that Errol Spence was focusing on that too much, which proved to be in the fight. You know, it was a very great, entertaining fight, one that was competitive the whole way, as we knew it would be. Sean Porter, I must admit, I'm not his biggest fan to watch in the ring, like in terms of his style, but I respect him completely and utterly. Like, this guy brings it every single time. He comes to fight, he's not scared. I mean, look at some of the guys that Sean Porter's fought now at welterweight. He's fought the likes of Kell Brook, Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. He hasn't won all of them fights. He also fought Ugas as well. He hasn't won all of them, but listen, man, Sean Porter is not scared of no one and he comes to bring it. And against Errol Spence, he brought it. And listen, that was the most time Errol Spence has been hit before in a fight. Errol Spence's face after the fight, you saw the bruises that he had. I haven't seen his face bruised up like that before. Sean Porter is a competitor and someone that comes to fight. So kudos to him, man. I can't wait to see him back in the ring. What a turnaround he's made. I'm actually looking forward to seeing him back in the ring now after that, because even if you don't like watching him, you have to admire the guy's toughness and his grit, you know. He comes to fight. So Sean Porter had a losing effort against Errol Spence. The tougher than expected fight for Errol Spence compared to most people's predictions who thought that Spence would win easily. But Spence did get the W. It was very nip and tuck going into the 10th, 11th round. But Errol Spence needed that knockdown for me, not just to go clear on the scorecards, but just to give him a little bit of breathing space, you know, give him a bit of a boost, give him more confidence going into those last two rounds. Because to me, it seemed like Porter was getting the upper hand at that stage. And, you know, who knows what would have happened if he didn't knock him down. So, great fight. Split decision win for Errol. The fight that we all want to see, of course, is him against Terence Crawford. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, going by how the, you know, boxing politics are right now. Terence Crawford, as you guys know, is obviously with Top Rank. Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman. The list goes on. All of those guys are sitting over there at the PBC. And we know that Bob Arum and Al Heyman don't have a very good relationship, and it doesn't look like that them two are going to work together very soon. Very disappointing. One, as a boxing fan for me, I want to see these two get it on. This is the fight over anything else I want to see. I want to see Errol Spence against Terence Crawford. I think it's such a great fight. Two unbeaten young champions, two guys with ambition to be pound for pound number one. Both guys on my pound for pound list. It's a great fight. Both of them have a lot of ego about them. Both of them feel like they are the best. Why can't we see this fight, man? It's a joke. And something that has to be said as well with regards to Terence Crawford and his Top Rank situation. Why did you renew the contract if you knew that, like, these fights weren't going to be made? Or was you told otherwise, you know? Was you made a promise that you were going to fight these guys? Because over there at the PBC, disgracefully, they're not even acknowledging Terence Crawford. When you had to look at their list of champions, they've got, you know, Sean Porter at the time, Errol Spence. They're not even acknowledging Terence Crawford. They've got Manny Pacquiao there as well, obviously. And I think that's a big shame for us as boxing fans, because that's the fight that we want to see. I've got my fingers crossed that maybe one day we will see that fight. But something has to happen. I think Terence Crawford needs a word with Bob Arum. I think he needs to say something like, what's going on with my situation? I fought Amir Khan in April. I've got a fight scheduled for what? He's not going to fight again this year, I don't think. I haven't heard anything. It's against a guy I've never heard of. He's in his prime now. He's, what, 31, 32 years old. He needs to fight now, because he's one of the top guys pound for pound on anybody's list. And he's not being marketed correctly, in my opinion. I think he had a good crowd over there in Omaha when he fought. But have a look at his pay-per-view numbers against Amir Khan. It wasn't that great, especially compared to Errol Spence, who will now obviously go back to Crawford and say, if they were to fight, that he is the A-side. So something needs to happen in that sense, man. I want to see some movement. I want to see Crawford, you know, make some noise. He said he wants to fight Spence. Spence, I don't think he's scared of Crawford, but he's not exactly running after that fight like Crawford is, you know. He's talking about fighting Danny Garcia next. He's talking about fighting Manny Pacquiao maybe after that. So Crawford needs to make a decision. Now, this video isn't all about Crawford, but I felt like I had to get that out there. With regards to the rest of the welterweight division, you've got Manny Pacquiao, the WBA champion, looked very impressive against Keith Thurman. However, I need to see what Manny Pacquiao's ambition is right now, because when I was watching the actual fight between Spence and Porter on Sky Sports, the UK commentary over here basically said that Pacquiao wasn't interested in fighting the likes of Spence and Crawford, and for me, that raised a huge red flag. I was just like, what's going on there? Like, why does he not want to fight these guys? And Pacquiao is a legend. We all know that. We know what Pacquiao's achieved. But I want to still see him mix it up. If you've got a belt, I want to see you fight these guys, man. So if you don't want to fight the top two and you don't want to unify the division, you should give up your belt. You haven't got nothing else to prove in this sport. And that's my honest opinion about it. I think that if Pacquiao holds the belt, he should be obligated to look to unify against the champions. Like, if you don't have to, you're bigger than the belt, then just give it away. Let somebody else fight for it. But for me, my philosophy has always been that I want to see an undisputed champion at every weight. And we're not going to be any closer to it if Pacquiao isn't looking to fight either Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. So looking at the rest of the division, I mean, you've got Ugast still there. You've got the likes of Sean Porter who can make a comeback. Kell Brook, is he going to return to welterweight? He says he is, but Kell Brook seems to be changing his mind a lot. I don't know. 1 minute he says he can't make the weight. The next he says he can make it. Is it too late for Kell Brook? I don't know. He's a free agent now. He said that he's left Matchroom, but obviously making fights with Eddie Hearn, he said, is still the priority. I think he's just so focused on chasing his Amir Khan fight. I'm not sure how much he wants to fight the other two guys. So he said he wanted to fight Crawford, but let's see if that happens. That'll be a good fight and it'll be easy to make considering that Kell Brook's a free agent now. So let's see what happens there, man. But, you know, the welterweight division, as it has been for a long time, is one of the most stacked divisions in boxing. One that's always provided great entertainment. These guys, you know, the welterweight division is looked at as a division where these guys are small enough to move around really quickly, but they've also got the power in their hands to knock somebody out. So it's always been a top division and one that is very exciting. We've got two exciting fighters in there, undefeated, pound for pound. Will these guys ever get it on? Will Keith Thurman get back in the ring? You know, he's got an injury right now, is he still hungry and motivated to get to the top, you know? The division's deep, and I want to see some movement in there. We are starting to see it over at the PBC, but I think that Crawford does have a decision to make, and he needs to start pushing for these fights over there, because I don't think they're going to be made very soon. So, listen, let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know your thoughts on the welterweight division. Who do you think is the big fish at welterweight right now? Who do you think is the #1 guy? Who do you think will reign supreme? So, drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about it. I'll catch you guys on the next one.